So I'm here with Gary Stickel. How are you doing today?
Great.
All right,
Well,
so
better, but
yeah,
in there, you know.
right. Archaeology is a hands-on job.
Yes, it is.
Tell us a little bit about your everyday life of an underwater archaeologist. What do you do on the daily basis?
Well, I'm actually not doing underwater archaeology now. I did a lot when I was younger. My doctorate at UCLA is based on underwater archaeology in Switzerland. I'm writing a book with my Greek colleague Irini, and it's called Our Greatest Journey, Revelations in Our Search for the Lost Palace of Odysseus. I'm a schizophrenic archaeologist because part of me is Old World and part of me is New World, and the New World part, I'm the tribal archaeologist for the Gabrielino Indians of Los Angeles, the original people here, so I'm helping them with all variety of things.
So tell us about this Clovis Point you found and the significance of it.
Okay, I just happen to have it here. And what it is I was doing a project in Malibu. I've done a lot of projects in Malibu for the rich and famous, and usually they're building mansions out there, and this was on Point Dume, which is prime property now, and it was prime property back in the Ice Age, you know. And we thought it was just a Chumash Indian site because the Chumash lived in that area, the Chumash people. But the site proved to be far older, and actually my Native American friend Edgar found this point, and it was actually dug up by a backhoe. It was just incredible. This is a replica. The original was in the Santa Barbara Natural History Museum.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Otherwise I wouldn't let you
That's
touch it.
amazing.
But you can touch this one. And
So
it's a high quality resin replica.
With all the creases and everything were just like this.
And those creases are called flake scars, and that's how we know it's Clovis.
Right, because
And, so this was actually hafted on a spear shaft. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this thing was a mean killing machine 13,000 years ago. The reason I knew it was Clovis is that overall shape like that. So that's a typical Clovis spearhead shape. And then on the bottom are flakes removed on either side. They're kind of subtle here. That's why it doesn't jump out at you. That's Clovis. And these are called fluted flakes. And it's called flutes because it makes the base thinner on either side. And the theory is it helps to facilitate the hafting on the spear shaft. You slide up on either side like that, you know.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's the theory. But that design is typical Clovis. There's a hole or a socket in the base of the spear, and it slides into the spur. And so when you bring this thing back, it increases what's called the moment of fulcrum. And so when you throw it, it greatly enhances the power many times. You could throw one of these things and it would pierce the hide of a mammoth. So this thing was a mean killing machine of 13,000 years ago. That's how people made a living. You know, they couldn't go to supermarkets and buy the food wrapped up in the cellophane packages. They had to bind it on the hoof, you know. Well, what's significant about this is I had never seen a Clovis point. They're very rare here in California. We only have.
Wouldn't it increase the northernmost point that Clovis has ever been found?
Yeah, actually, I christened the site Far Point for two reasons. One, it's the farthest point that Clovis has been found in the United States, because most of the sites are on the East Coast and so on. And Dr. Dennis Stanford, who's the head archaeologist at our National Museum, the Smithsonian, he validated my find, and he said this is the first Clovis point found on the west coast of the Americas, not just in the United States.
That's what I thought, too, except, I mean, in Arizona, obviously, in New Mexico.
Well, no, but that's Arizona. It's not directly on the coast.
Right.
I mean, you can see
so it's the westernmost and northernmost.
Well, not northernmost, but westernmost. You can actually see... There's other sites in Oregon and Washington State and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
That just is unbelievable that people
Clovis,
from the tip of Argentina would travel to the very top of the western coast.
Clovis is the most widespread of any ancient culture in the Americas. It goes all the way from Canada down to Venezuela, and all the way across the continental United States. There's no other culture
before the Ice Age.
Before or since. There's no other culture that's that widespread. This is the entire piece.
Right?
It's a spearhead.
Yeah.
So it's extremely rare to find them intact, and then to find it so beautifully flaked and everything. It's a fantastic piece.
Yeah.
It's being curated at the Santa Barbara Natural History Museum. That's what the Indians wanted.
So tell us a little bit about the Lost Palace of Odysseus and what your passion project has been.
This is a series I'm doing on the Odyssey, and these are the sirens. The sirens are half bird, half female monsters, and they sing the most beautiful songs you've ever heard. And they lure men to their island, and then kind of like vampires, they kill you, devour you, And everything here is mentioned by Homer in the chapter on the Kingdom of the Dead. This is Hades, the King of the Dead, and that's Persephone, the Queen of the Dead, and her emblematic tree behind her, the pomegranate. This is Sisyphus. You might have heard of Sisyphus pushing the stone up the hill, and then he always slips and it rolls back down again. Have you heard that story?
I don't think so.
That's a standard Greek myth, and that's Sisyphus. This is Tantalus. This is where we get the word tantalize from, and he's trying to get fruit from a tree, but every time he does, the wind blows it out of his reach, so he's tantalized. That's where we get the word tantalize from. This is Cerberus, the three-headed hound of hell that guards Hades. It keeps the dead, keeps the living from going there, And this is Tydeus, a titan that ticked off Zeus, so he had him chained to a rock, and he had vultures dig out his liver every day, And this is Achilles, hero of the Trojan War, Menelaus, husband of Helen, the queen of, the Helen of Troy, and Ajax. That's Hercules. And this is Odysseus' mother. And that's Helen of Troy, and another one, Phaedra, And these are all the dead floating into the underworld, And the sequence where Poseidon destroys Odysseus on his raft. He's sailing home from Calypso. Because I did this for kids, he's surfing on some dolphins. These dolphins were taken from a palace, Bronze Age palace of Knossos, the great palace there, And
I know that one.
The design is taken. Actually, I ripped off a Japanese artist by the name of Hokusai, who made the basic wave design, But I modified it.
I love the wave design. It's really great.
I modified it. The little Mickey Mouse ears on the ends of it, that's from the Bronze Age of Greece and stuff like that.
What about the ship design? What is that?
Yeah, that's straight out of Homer. He describes everything there. From the gunwales to the stone anchor and one sail and everything. It's all described in Homer. Turning Odysseus' men into pigs, you can see, and there's 3 stages of them. They're a transformation. And she's got her magic wand, and she's wearing the famous snake goddess figurine costume, statue that's found on Knossos. And I actually have this dress replicated, and I have it in my play.
He looks really scared.
Yeah, that's Eurylochus. He's second in command, and he hangs back, and he sees that the men are being turned into pigs, and he runs back and tells Odysseus, and then Odysseus comes up to try to rescue his men,
Wow.
Calypso, and she's been keeping Odysseus on her island for 7 years, and he's weeping for his wife and queen, Penelope. And that's Hermes, the messenger of the gods. He's carrying the caduceus, which is his...
So cool.
Yeah, that's called the caduceus. Our medical profession uses that as an emblem, but it has nothing to do with medicine. Everything to do with Hermes.
Oh, wow, this is great.
And he's trapped Odysseus and his 12 men inside his cave, and he's eating them, And so this is kind of like Where's Waldo. It's supposed to be 12 men, so here's Odysseus, and so you count them up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're hiding back in the shadows.
Oh, I see their eyes.
So.
No, this octopus.
Yeah, it's famous.
It's the one
Bronze
from
Age
that famous
vase. Yeah.
vase that covers the whole vase, and it's like the first time animals have been used to encompass something that is like octopuses are round and the vase is round. And
Yeah.
named or single?
No, these are paddled like a giant canoe.
Right. So the people are sitting would
They're
be
leaning
sitting
over paddling.
Oh, I see.
And then Odysseus' emblem is a wild boar because that keeps cropping up, a wild boar throughout his story and everything. He's given a boar's tusk helmet in the Iliad and so on.
And the spider?
It's not a spider, it's an army ant because it's a Bronze Age version of one because Achilles here, his men are called the Myrmidons, which means army ants. Leading his commandos out of the horse and they're attacking, Troy. And the horse is based on a design from a pod from Mycenae. It dates right to the time of the Trojan War, 1200 BC. And I love to, a friend of mine calls it a Picasso horse. It has two eyes on the same side of the head.
Yeah.
And then there's windows like a bus on the thing, I think it's funny, but
So cool.
And then the design of the horned helmets and stuff, that's from the warrior's base from Mycenae, dates to the same time period, But the temple of Athena over here, that's from Knossos, and that design was painted on the wall of Knossos.
Wow.
And we're back to the one I just finished, which is...
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
These